Hi, and welcome to the first and completely surprise video for Odd Modular. I was working on a sponsored video for Odd Modular showcasing the noisier applications of their F3 dB module, but I just received this module, the Miso Modular Cornflakes, and began working it into a setup when I came across some issues that I don't think are covered in the manual. I made this video as a source of information so users can refer to it when they run across the questions I had. So let's get into it. The Miso Modular Cornflakes is a granular sampler, and I am a huge fan of these type of modules. However, when I plugged in the module, I was curious that it doesn't mention the total amount of record time available, not in the manual or on their FAQ on the website. I asked the nice people at Miso Modular, and they informed me that the internal memory will hold up to 40 seconds of audio. When I first tried, I could get about 4 seconds of time. And when I asked about getting the most time out of the module, Mikkel at Miso Modular sent me a screenshot of how the module knob should be set to record/play an unaffected sample. Below is how it needs to be set, so take a screenshot for a good starting point when you record your source material. Once the sample is recorded into memory, you can affect the sample via turning the knobs or through CV. To the left, I have a Pamela's new workout that will be sending random CV into the cornflakes. The Miso Modular Cornflakes takes -5 to +5 voltage into the CV inputs, so it would be best to use a voltage source that sends both positive and negative voltage to get the full range of results. However, I believe that if you set the knobs to 1 o'clock, or 1 or 7 o'clock, as I just did, the voltage coming from your source, if it's just positive, will add to the knob position. So in the case of the Pamelas, sending 0 to +5 voltage, you'll get from 7 o'clock till about noon. As I said before, a source that sends both with the knob set to noon will be able to give you a full range in the parameter you're looking for. Let's set this back to normal and continue. The second issue I had was loading samples from the SD card. SD card not included. You need to use a 32 gigabyte or less micro SD card, class 10, that has been formatted in FAT32. The samples need to be 48 kilohertz, 16-bit, mono, or stereo wave files. It could be stereo, but the naming convention that you have to use splits them into single tracks to load using mono samples. So it was easier for me to think of it as just loading mono tracks. The samples need to be named after the bank, A, B, C, or D, and then the sample number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. And then a left or right to show left or right if you're using a stereo sample. For example, the first sample of bank A should be named A1L.wave for the left channel and A1R.wave for the right channel. If we move to sample 2, it would be A2L.wave and A2R.wave. The manual says to load a sample from the SD card, select the slot and bank to recall, and hold function button while short pressing the load button. However, when I tried this, I only got noise, which indicates that the sample did not load. I only found success when I turned on the quantize button. This all changed after I saved a sample to an empty slot on the Miso Modular Cornflakes. The sample I had saved seems to have filled the rest of the empty slots in that bank. In addition, I no longer needed to have the quantize button on to load samples, both the new one I saved and the originals on the card. So initially, please make sure you have to press the quantize button before you try and load the samples. Quantize will light with a solid gold light. Once that light is on, you can choose a sample from your bank. In this case, I'm going to use bank A and sample 1 to keep things simple. I will press and hold the function key once I select the proper sample. Press and hold the function key and press and hold the green play button to load a sample. The sample lights will blink, and when you press play, you should be able to hear your sample playing.
Okay, here goes another try to record a 40-second sample for the Miso Modular people so that I can...
Now that I have saved a sample to the card, I no longer need to have quantize on. So double press the quantize key to turn it off. I'm going to move to sample 2 in bank A, And now I can load samples without quantize on.
Okay, here goes. Here's another try.
You can hear the different sample played. After you load your sample, you can obviously affect it by turning the knobs.
Okay, here goes the second sample.
Or through CV. I was told today that this may be a firmware issue with the quantize button, and that Miso Modular will keep me informed if they find anything, and this video may be updated to reflect any new information I receive. That's everything I have up to this point. Thank you to the people at Miso Modular for their quick and informative emails working with me to figure this out. Thanks for checking out this video. You can check out Odd Modular on Instagram, Facebook, and you can always like and subscribe to this channel. Click the notification bell to get notified when we post. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.